Welcome to Side Hustle Lawyer, the channel where we break down the legal side of your side hustle. I'm Larry Mike, and today we are diving into a crucial topic for all you aspiring entrepreneurs out there. So you've started your side hustle and you're making some good money and you're actually getting a lot of customers. But what happens when you realize you have a competition that has stepped up to the game and is offering the same product that you are offering, but at a lower cost? So you have your business, you're making good money, and you find this competition who is offering the same thing that you're offering at a lower price point. What's the first thing that you do? Well, for many side hustlers who are just starting in the game, their first thought is to lower their price lower than the competition. And in some instances, that may work out for folks. But in some situations, you may not want to get into that battle, that war of attrition, that war where you're constantly battling who can sell the lower price. Because what does that do for you in the long run? Your side hustle that you created was probably created because you wanted to bring in extra income for you and your family. But what have you done when you've lowered your prices consistently in this battle of the wages? Well, for one, you've devalued your product. So whatever you felt that your product was worth when you initially sold it, you're bringing it down to a price point where someone may not even realize how good that product is. It may become so cheap that it may not be something that they want to utilize. The second thing that you may have done that impacts your business is you're hitting your profit margins, like severely underestimating those profit margins. What could have been 50 to 60% profit, you're now jumping down to 20, 25, 10, 15, maybe even 2 to 3%. You're making cents on the dollar when you could be making a whole lot more. So what can you do to compete with a competitor who is fighting you with prices? And the answer may be simpler than you think. Let's talk about value. Value is a component that you can utilize as a side hustler to ensure that you stay ahead of the game. Now, what do I mean by that? Do I mean that you go and purchase more products and bundle them with the product that you're offering to sell those to customers to show some added value? No, I'm not saying to do anything like that. I'm saying literally adding a value component that is not costing you anything to reach out to your consumers. Take, for instance, Apple. So back in the early 2000s, BlackBerry was the main phone that folks wanted to have. In fact, it was utilized by corporate professionals, utilized by military, it was utilized by many of the businesses that were around during that time frame. BlackBerry was the phone to have. In fact, I had a BlackBerry and I thought I was the greatest thing ever because I have this BlackBerry. But what did Apple do? Apple came out with the phone that had no buttons, just a glass screen, and you just press and click and click. And when it came out, it sold out like hotcakes. But what did we expect after that monumental product came out? The competitors jumped on board. They started offering the same type of product, no buttons, to the consumers. Now we fast forward 20 plus years later and we've got phones of all different types and sizes. In fact, what you used to get back in the day with Apple was a phone, a charger, charging cable, and a set of headphones. These days, you'd be hard pressed to find a new product from Apple with the phone where you're going to get all of those. In fact, you probably just get the phone itself. They went so far as to say, you know what, we're going to eliminate the headphone jack and you're not going to get headphones anymore. But what we're going to do is we're going to give you these Bluetooth headphones, but you're going to pay extra. And then you're going to have to charge that and do certain things. Now, you would think that many folks would say, there's no value in that. At least that's what I thought when I first heard the news. But what happened? Sold out like hotcakes. Why is that? Why did people settle for having an item where you used to get all this stuff bundled together and now they're getting something totally different? It's that value that Apple has brought to the table. And so when we talk about value, what type of value are we talking about? To me, I believe there's some psychological value out there. Think for an instance, if you look at all the videos, you look at all the trends, you see even some of the younger generation when they talk about Apple products or even owning phones in general, you'll hear folks say things such as, "Oh, I don't want to talk to the people who give the green bubbles when they text me." We're talking about the Android folks. They want to see are the blue bubbles. Or if you're wearing the headphones that have the wire connected, no, I need the headphones that stick here, those AirPods. I mean, even during Christmas, you would see folks and kids asking for AirPods because there was that psychological impact of being in the know, being in the game of having the particular Apple products that even come out. Even now, when they release phones or different iterations of the iPhone, I mean, from one year to the next, they may have changed something minuscule. And it's brand new iPhone. And folks clamor to the stores to buy that brand new iPhone. You see, Apple has figured out the game of adding value to something that many other companies are still trying to figure out. I mean, these days, I've got two phones. I have an Android and I have an Apple. I don't have Apple because I particularly like Apple. I got it because my business partners hated seeing the green bubble pop up on their screens. So psychologically, I was impacted to purchase this Apple product just so I could stop hearing them say, "I don't want to see the green bubble." But what can you take as a cue from Apple? Well, you have to find the value in the product that you're offering. For instance, there's a company that I know who they're a drug testing company, and they're in competition with a company that has been in existence many years longer than they have. And they're battling right now with the same aspect of dealing with products that are sold from the same vendors, the same suppliers, but that competition is now offering that product for less. And so this company has a choice to make. Do they mark down their product, impact their bottom line, and devalue the product? Or do they find something of value that doesn't cost them any money, but it puts into the minds of their consumers that what they're offering, even though they are the same exact product, but what they are offering is a better product? So what they've decided to do is, you know what? We both offer the same product. We both are targeting the same consumers. So this is how we're going to stand out. We're going to get the makers of that product. We're going to bring them here to our consumers. And we're going to hold presentations and let the product makers tell them all about the product itself. So now you have a company who has decided, nope, we're not going to get in this war. We're going to add that value. So what does it do for the clients who are purchasing that product for them? Well, the first thing that they think is that this company is doing something more than just selling me a product. They're educating me on this product. They're telling me why I need this product. They're not only hitting the psychological value of it. I mean, they may even be hitting the emotional value of, hey, this is why you need to purchase this product from us. Yes, we are a little bit more expensive than the competition, but it's not because of this. We're more expensive because we provide added value that the other company doesn't provide. We're the ones who sit out there and we decide, you know what? We're not just going to sell this product. We're going to teach you about this product. We're going to ensure that we educate you about this product. And we want to ensure that when you decide to use this product, that you have the foundation needed to not only educate yourselves and the people around you, but the clientele that you use. So value could be one aspect, a very important aspect that you can lean on when you're dealing with competitors who are trying to outprice you out of the game. Now, what happens if you add that value and the company who is copying you does the same thing? What do you do there? You look at Apple, for instance, and they're facing the same pressures from many different sides. As I told you earlier, I have two phones, an Android and an iPhone. And the Android that I have is the Galaxy Fold that has the screen that flips open and does all of that. Well, many folks would think, okay, maybe Apple's going to come out with a folding phone sometime, and we don't know. But what have they done? They've still focused on their product market. They've still focused on the things that they are good at and refining and revitalizing that and still hitting. But what they have with their brand value is so powerful that even if you have folks who are copying you, right? Even if you have folks who are following and trying to do things that you've done, many people who I've talked to, when I ask them, why are you purchasing Apple? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? They're stuck with Apple, right? Because they were the innovators. To them, they think that Apple is the company that brings everything out first. And to me, I'm like, oh, that's not the case. I mean, there are other companies who are doing certain things, but to them, because of the brand value that Apple has provided, that first initial step where they jumped out and did it, everyone thinks it's them that's doing it first. So it's because it's them that are the innovators. It's them that were doing it first. It's them that we know of. We're sticking with those guys because they are the ones who are doing it and everybody else is just copying. So if you get into a situation where you have jumped out and you're like, look, I'm going to add this value component to my product. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to figure out how I can make it worth the time to explain why we have our prices the way it is, but also educate that consumer. And you've done that and you get the copycats doing it as well. Don't forget the fact that there's something to be said about the company who jumps out and are the pioneers of making something happen. Because if your brand value is intact, you will have folks who won't jump ship. In fact, you'll probably have folks out there who are cheerleaders of your company that will spread that message to others. So remember, folks, if you enjoyed today's video, please leave a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe so I can continue making content like this to educate you and all the budding side hustlers out there. And if you have any ideas that you want to see explained on this channel, please leave it down in the comments and I'll be sure to make a video about it and spread the news to everyone.